Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is a very special day because it is Friday. Probably not as you are watching this, it's probably Saturday, knowing how I'm going to be uploading this video, but it is the Friday night Magic at Home event, specifically Historic Brawl, the best format on Magic Arena. So we're going to be playing a hell of a lot of this format. There's going to be a lot of footage because I've been struggling to actually get some Historic Brawl content over the past couple of weeks. It's a lot of people playing Golos, which is banned, and they shouldn't be playing it. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge actually getting some footage for Historic Brawl over the past week, so I'm making the most of this Friday Night Magic event, Historic Brawl, and today we're going to be playing with a new commander from Ikoria, the card that might as well be called Godzilla, because it was actually never printed in any other way. So this is Godzilla, King of Monsters, also known as Zilortha, which is, if you look at Zilortha and look at the alternative art, it doesn't exist. So, yeah, we're playing with Godzilla, King of Monsters. I wonder why they did this. I'm wondering when this gets printed. I wonder if it was maybe like a misprint. I have no idea. Anyway, 5 mana for a 7/3 with Trample. It says lethal damage dealt to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. So essentially, if you've ever seen like the high alert decks, which say you deal damage equal to your toughness rather than your power, this is kind of the equivalent but on the power side. So Godzilla is a 7/3, however he effectively is a 7/7 because we need to have it deal 7 damage to it before it dies. So what we've got here is a nice Gruul ramp deck. It started out a little bit as 4 power matters as well, so we've got a lot of those cards that really care about 4 powered creatures or higher. So we've got things like the Elysian Caryatid in our ramp package, which adds 1 mana of any colour, but if we have a creature with power 4 or greater, it adds 2 mana of any colour instead. We've got that nice little mana dork package, as I mentioned, so Llanowar Elves, Elysian Caryatid, Incubation Druid, Paradise Druid, and so on and so forth. But yes, when it comes to 4 power matters, we got lots of payoffs. We got like the early game, I think, aggro killer in a way. Warden of the Chained, a 3 mana 4/4, which can not attack unless you control a creature with power 4 or greater, but it can still block, so a 3 mana 4/4 is still pretty decent. Similar to how Lovestruck Beast kind of kills aggro. It can't attack unless it has a 1/1 in play, but it can still block as a 5/5, which means your opponent needs to use premium removal on a card like this. We've got things like Furious Rise and Colossal Majesty as well, which are going to be our card advantage engines, which care about creatures with power 4 or greater on the battlefield. Furious Rise gives us a card at the end step, and we get to play that card until we exile another one with Furious Rise, so we get a new card every turn. It's pretty sweet. We got Colossal Majesty, which draws us a card on our upkeep if we've got a creature with power 4 or greater. The real reason to play this deck, though, is for like Trampled Tribal synergy. I guess also Sarkhan's Unsealing is the absolute god tier build around card of this deck. Sarkhan's Unsealing, 4 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 4 or 5 or 6, it deals 4 damage to any target. And if you cast a creature spell with power 7 or greater, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. And conveniently, we can go turn 4 Sarkhan's Unsealing into turn 5 Godzilla, King of Monsters, which is 7 power, which makes Godzilla a board wipe when he enters. So we can do some really, really cool turns. We can do some mana ramping to get to some early game stuff, so like turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Rhythm of the Wild, which can give haste to our creatures and stop them from being countered, turn 3 Sarkhan's Unsealing, and then a turn 4 hasty 7/3, or 7/7 effectively, that completely wipes the board. We've got some really cool turns like that, essentially. We got Quartz Wood Crasher from Ikoria as well, a 6/6 trample for 5. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with trample deals combat damage to a player, you get to create an XX green dinosaur beast with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. So any excess damage dealt by trample is actually converted into XX creatures. We got Golter in here, the big 12/12 Trampler, again really good with Sarkhan's Unsealing, and yeah, it's just basically a nice early ramp spell with lots of creatures that are 4 power or higher that do a lot of things when they enter, or when they attack. It's really sweet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You know the drill, and let's get on with it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in Tapland City actually, but this hand's fine with a Domri, and an Ilhag plus Ravager's pretty sweet, so we only really have to ramp to 5 and then 6 can just be Ilhag smashing with Colossal Majesty around, so I like this hand actually. We're going to go with Timbergorge tapped because it's guaranteed to be a tap land, whereas if we just draw a nice land off the top, then we've got Rootbound Craig untapped, and then we've got our third mana with double green, double red. So we can play like Anaxes and whatnot. Well, we do have our untapped land. Does that really change anything? I mean, I'll just play my mountain, I suppose. Well, let's just play it. So this is where they could Kiora if they want to, but unless they've got like a Gilded Goose or a Llanowar Elves, it's not too much of a great deal. I guess they do have their land drop. Alright, so Migration Path. Sure. We're going to go Rootbound Craig and Domri. I'm going to rush out this Ravager Worm. Add whatever, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, we got Ilhag next turn, bringing in Ravager Worm every combat to fight and destroy non-basics with mana abilities. So we can kill Castle Garenbrig, for example. But we're going to be killing Thunderous Snapper instead by the looks of things. Ooh, Golter. That's nice and playable for later. Okay, so we give them a turn with Thunderous Snapper and Kiora. That's a pretty hefty card advantage engine they've got there, admittedly. So they could do a lot with this. I know the Kiora deck that I built would be very explosive at this point, if the hand was at least reasonably good. So Thunderous Snapper, yeah, there's a Questing Beast. That's a bit rough. Not blocking it though. Thunderous Snapper says whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, you draw a card, and that will also trigger Kiora most likely as well with the power 4 or greater. So yeah, this is a little bit of a rough one. We're not going to be blocking. So Domri goes to 1. I doubt they could do extra damage to him, to be honest. There's Incubation Druid, there's a little bit of ramp. And they got 3 mana left. So it won't trigger the Thunderous Snapper, but for 3 mana you could do, like, a lot of things, to be honest. Ooh, Rhythm of the Wilds. That actually seems like a pretty big pickup, to be honest. So we go Domri, do green, do Rhythm of the Wilds, and then let's get in at Kiora, I think. Put Ravager Worm into play, attacking Kiora as well, I suppose. We'll put a counter on it because of the Riot. And a counter on it because of the Riot. It's going in anyway. Fight a creature we don't control. Let's go after the Thunderous Snapper. I expect the Questing Beast to be blocking here. Yep. So, Kiora's down. Questing Beast is down. Domri technically isn't safe. We're going to put you back on top. And then we can do... Should we do Anax? Anax seems pretty good. Then again... Actually, we'll do Colossal Majesty, because we got that upkeep for Ravager Worm. And I think it... Oh, no, we don't. Ah, yes. And step triggers. They are very good. Alright, goodbye, Domri. I'm very smart. But to be honest, I think we should be good. I don't think we have to really worry. We got hasty shenanigans, so anything that comes through. If we draw a land, we got Ravager Worm just to immediately kill it, which is great. Ooh, Lotus Field with Kiora is not great for us. And we got Ember Cleave. So I think we're just going to go with Zilortha. And I'm just going to haste it. 7 damage coming through. Get that pressure going. Alright, so if Godzilla, King of the Monsters, stays in play, we get to draw a card on our upkeep, which hopefully could be a land, and then Ravager Worm can come down and fight whatever we want. Can we get this to... Yeah, we can get this to kill Incubation Druid, in fairness. Not sure that's likely what we're going to be doing, to be honest, though. There's Kiora. Untap Lotus Field. Here's Yorvo, draw a card. Yeah, so this is where they can do some really crazy stuff. Now that they've got all the extra mana and they've got their Kiora down to untap some big mana, they can really start chaining together some spells here. So they'll untap Lotus Field. This gives them 8 mana to work with. And that could just roadblock me, to be honest. Gonna go 6, 9 mana with Incubation Druid. What could this be? In Nyx Bloom Ancient, a 4-1. Loathsome Chimera. Sure, what's this even do? Nothing. Okay. There are 9 million different cards you could play over that card. Just saying. Alright, well, we've got Ilhag with haste. Seems pretty good. We're gonna go Temple, because we can. We're not really doing anything else. Furious Rise, not gonna need. We've got, like, that ability already. And, to be honest, opponent's gonna be trading off loads of stuff, so let's just send it all at our opponent. And we can even... Yeah, we can even put Ravager Worm in to fight Yorvo and also send it at our opponent's face, so that's lots and lots of blockers. Or we could go with the 12/12 Galter as well, which is also a thing. Opponent's had enough. I'm pretty sure I would also scoop at that point, but there are a few cards you could get there. Like, if they survive the damage somehow, then like a Finale X10 might be reasonable. I'm not entirely sure, but they'd had enough, so good stuff. Alrighty then, we're in, and we're up against Removal Tribal, but honestly with the Clothis, it's going to be pretty hard for them to Removal Tribal that. And the Drain might actually keep us in this game for quite some time, so I'm actually inclined to keep this hand even though it looks real slow. I think Clothis on its own is pretty good. Ooh, Lovestruck Beast to lead off with as well. Okay, so we'll make a 1/1 that we can start pinging our opponent with. And ping we shall. Let's get on in. Get him. Alright, let's just pretend we have some red spells to cast. Let's play our Mountain and Go. Really want to see them play something that goes into the graveyard here. But that's fine. It's fine if you don't. So we still got Lovestruck Beast, which can get removal from our opponent, I suppose. And that will go into the yard to fuel the Clothis. Which should be pretty grand. Opponent's real close to Liliana as well, so... Yeah. They don't waste no time. Alright, yeah, let's just do Clothis. Can't imagine they can answer an indestructible enchantment. Considering it's mono black and all, but... I mean, it's gonna depend on what Liliana can do here. Wow. Just wow. Well, with draws like that, you can't really feel bad about losing. You might say I stood zero chance of winning that game. Alright. So got a Twilight Prophet. Means 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, pass the turn. So there's no City's Blessing, I don't think, here, but we'll see. Knight of the Ebon Legion. These three can't be lands, because our opponent, I think, would have just turbo slammed their Liliana. God damn, losing a Klothys without even getting a single trigger. That is unreal. So I'm going to go get a Forest, I think. Most of my deck's green to begin with. And I kind of want to protect this Carnage Tyrant from a Liliana minus. Got Thrash Threat. Well, if we did Anax, it's an option. Yeah, I mean, we get some tokens. It's a thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not too confident much can happen here. What does Liliana minus to? She minuses to 2, actually. So in response to her minus, we can Anax Liliana and stop her from actually producing any tokens, unless her opponent just has the answer, which is fair. I don't actually really expect them not to have an answer every single turn. I think that would be Magical Christmas Land, to assume they don't have a removal spell in Mono Black. So there's land, here comes the Lily. Yup.
My army will envelop this world.
And they're gonna make the 2/2 army, which we can't really stop. So let that go. Got a land. What's that mean for us? What does that mean for us? We can play Carnage Tyrant with a little bit of protection. We could play Ravager Worm. Make our opponent draw some cards. Start pressuring things. It's just all bad, to be honest. It is all bad. Yeah, let's just throw a Ravager Worm out with haste. Haste that fights the Twilight Prophet for the card advantage that they already have. And then we'll just suicide our way through Liliana. Probably, ooh, getting a chum block on a zombie. That I wasn't expecting. I almost expected the double block, to be honest. Yeah. So right now, if we're looking at Klothys, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points of drain damage here without the Farrakha's Libation. The only card in their deck that deals with Klothys. So we'd be at a really hefty life total. We'd have already had a land in there as well, so we'd probably be ramping. Opponent's dealt with our uncounterable hexproof creature now. So that's unfortunate. But, you know, Magic is a game of variance. And sometimes the variance is extremely unfair. You just gotta learn to live with it. Opponent makes me discard. At this point, it's probably just Nylea. Sure, our opponent's got an answer for it. Okay. So, let's just grab another forest, I guess. We got 5 points of damage. I could kill... Could actually ping Liliana quite hard here. And just play Yorvo. Let's get empty-handed, so Davriel's just kind of only pinging, I guess. Send this at Liliana. Yep, it's the block I expected.
Do not ruin my dress.
And then we can thrash Liliana with Yorvo, I guess. Takes it down to -2, so she can't minus on us. So Davriel's only doing some pings now. Liliana's only making tokens. I've got a Zilortha coming down, making Yorvo a 6/6. Opponent's just wiped my entire board. I'd like to also point out that I'm pretty certain that's the only board wipe in Magic Arena right now that can kill my board. Sometimes Magic just is not fair.
Struggling?
God Eternal Ronus. This just doesn't matter. Really just doesn't matter. You don't have haste, so I couldn't do Zilortha Ronus if I had the mana and make it matter. I'm thinking I might just Ronus, though. Just because I can. And this game is over. So let's just run that straight into a scriptures. For the lulz, as the kids would say. Yep. Should have triggered these in an opposite way, but it doesn't matter. It honestly does not matter. Okay, well, we can send it all at Liliana, I guess, and send it to 1 before we lose. Here comes the extra removal, yeah. And then the chump and the trade. I think I might just move on with my life, and we'll go to the next game. I don't know. I'll see what the next top deck is, I suppose. But, I mean, it's not going to matter. Ronus, get in the deck. My graveyard's not going to exist a turn from now, which, if we had Clothis, it wouldn't in the first place. I just don't know what our top decks could be that matter. Alright, take 1,000,000 damage. I'm assuming we don't have to commit anything to this board, so we can just pump Knight. And we're dead next turn, essentially. Doom Whisperer. Oh yeah, we're mega dead next turn. Woo variants. Alright. To 7, we got Goreclaw, which doesn't do anything. And yeah, let's move to the next game. Oh boy, this actually could be a pretty bad matchup for us if we don't have a really good start. Our opponent's playing Prankle, Master of Ranks. We're going to take the free mull on this one. And, ooh, cast triggers with a Sarkhan's Unsealing. So unless our opponent's like our Liliana opponent and has Ferrica's Libation for that Sarkhan Unsealing, I think this is a real good hand. Hello, opponent. So they're playing Prankle, Master of Ranks. Yeah, I said it twice. I meant it. Flying Haste 3/3, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, choose any number of discarding a card, losing life and drawing a card, or sacrificing a creature. So that's a symmetrical effect there. The reason why I don't know if this is going to be a great matchup is mostly because we're a big mana deck. So we're really just going to be playing 1 or 2 spells per turn. Fortunately, we've got Sarkhan's Unsealing, which, you know, does things like this. So we're going to play Sarkhan's Unsealing next turn into Zilortha, and we're just going to wipe the board completely. Take some damage from Timoret. And as we said, as long as they don't have Ferrica's Libation, they shouldn't be able to deal with this enchantment. So, good stuff. So whenever we cast a creature spell with power 7 or greater, Sarkhan's Unsealing deals 4 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So basically, it's a board wipe. It's a Storm's Wrath that is one-sided. Fortunately for us, our commander is 7 power, so it can immediately trigger that Sarkhan's Unsealing. Then we can also probably do it down the line as well with an Anax. We need Anax to be power 4 in our hand before we cast it. But our opponent's played Prankle here, so it's pretty easy Godzilla, to be honest. So they'll make us discard, which is fine, because we've got an excess of lands here. Get rid of the forest, I guess, if that's what they want to do. I doubt they'll want to do anything else. Discard and draw. Okay, so we get rid of forest and we'll also draw. Got a God Eternal Ronas, so that's a ping wherever we want it to go. 4 damage to any target. We are going to just straight up go with Zilortha, though. Oh, Godzilla. I want to call it Godzilla, but it's named wrong here. Alright, so kill their board, play Zilortha. Lethal damage to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. That is the most irrelevant line of text that's going to be in this matchup. I'm pretty convinced on that. So we do want to make sure that we've got something to sacrifice when Prankle comes down the line. Well, we're just going to put that back in the command zone, because that just means I can cast it again. Opponent takes 2. And they'll be drawing off Tome of Legends. Seems pretty good against with a Prankle list. Tome of Legends not always going to be guaranteed to be the best possible card in every single deck, as much as it might seem. There is like a, I don't know, almost an obsession with putting this in any commander whose type is creature, which I don't believe is actually a good thing to do. Alright, so we are going to go with Domri. I think we'll just play Yorvo, to be honest. Which comes down as a 0-0. It's not a combo with Sarkhan's Unsealing, unfortunately. It's cast as a 0-0, even though it technically ends up being a 4-4. Or a 5-4 in this particular case. And then we're going to tick up Domri so that Prankle coming down next turn doesn't kill him. Omen of the Dead, put Timuret back in hand. Okay. Timuret's useless, I want to say. I want to say useless. Well, I guess we got Clothis. They can exile things in response to Clothis to stop us getting that ping. Another really god tier draw if we can find it. Not only is it an unsealing trigger, but it's also an enchantment that our opponent will struggle to deal with. Should struggle to deal with. May not necessarily, who knows. I think we're winning this game next turn if that's all our opponent's going to do. We're going to God Eternal Ronas and clear this board way. Swinging in for... what is it going to be? It enters with extra power, so... ooh, okay. And then we're just going to draw with Tome of Legends. Looks to be all we can really do. They're hovering their cards like they've maybe got a activated ability, but it's not really going to matter. And Timuret's activated is 2. So, they're likely just hanging on this Tome of Legends. Spark Harvest, okay. Sure. Fine. Right, so... tick up with Domri on green.
Wait, that might be me.
We're going to play Ronas. Yeah, Ronas here. I'll ping Murderous Rider. So that if our opponent does want to go with a sack a creature, they're going to have to lose Prankle or play something alongside it, which it has to be like Swamp, Gutter Bones, something like that. Which I think is an unlikely combo of cards that they have. Well, there's a land. Is this where Prankle comes down? Prankle can't actually attack Domri and make me sack at the same time as well, to be noted. So, yeah, next turn we're just gonna Zilortha. Or Godzilla. Alright. So in order to get the trigger, they have to attack me and not Domri. It's like that's what they're gonna do. Which is fine by me. I am gonna see what we can do with this Once Upon a Time. Opponent's gonna go with their Tome of Legends. Alright, so a fair few cards here that I would have actually loved to have seen. I guess I'm just gonna pick this Gruul Guildgate so we can discard it to Prankle. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, make me discard a card like that. Give me a discard and draw. Sacks a creature. Goodbye, Prankle. Yeah, it seems like a losing battle. I actually thought they might be able to keep up with us here, but it's not looking like it. It is not looking like it at all. I'm going to put Ronus back in the deck. I think it's a good draw. Ooh, Goreclaw. Alright, so Goreclaw gives cost reduction. Alright, yeah, I think we're going Goreclaw. So I'm going to go green. Goreclaw. Ping our opponent with Sarkhan's Unsealing. And then we can go Anax, I guess. And we got a really big board now of good boys. Zilortha, one-sided board wipe, ready to go. Our opponent? Oh, our opponent put Prankle in the graveyard. Didn't actually notice that. So that must mean reanimation shenanigans, which is fine. It's totally fine. They do have Omen of the Dead to pull it back as well, but that means it's... yeah, 7 mana to do that. Which... What was Prankle costing already? 8. I guess it works. Grave Digger. Alright, do you have a land? I doubt it. They've hit land drops pretty consistently. It's about time they stopped, right? Right? Yes, correct. Absolutely correct. Everything they're playing here is going to die. Good luck. The rest does nothing. Yep. Nothing attacks, they draw a card, and we swing for lethal, I'm pretty sure. There's Carney T, so we're just going to go Zilortha. 4 to everything. And yeah, we've got big boys coming in. Goreclaw actually gives +1/+1, and I think Trample to Anax as well, so we're really just overkilling our opponent there. And we've even got a Golter for another 4 points of damage to everything. So, yeah. I actually thought that would be a bad matchup, but yeah, I think Sarkhan's Unsealing really carried us there, to be honest. Alrighty then, we're in, and this hand's garbage, so let's just not even discuss it. This hand is fine. It's fine. I think the only way our opponent beats this Klothys is either by countering it really early on, or just having Agent of Treachery. I mean, this matchup is just a race to kill our opponent before they inevitably find Agent of Treachery to flicker with Thassa. It's pretty much the only redeeming quality of that deck, I think, as far as competition's concerned. We also have Shifting Ceratops as well with Protection from Blue, so I'm pretty sure this just means we win. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, Protection from Blue can't be countered. It's a fun time for all involved. Let's go with the old Forgotten Caverino, I think. Yep, pass the turn. No rush to really Once Upon a Time here. So our opponent did get a Sphinx of the Foresight, which means they get to Scry at the beginning of their first upkeep, because they revealed this from their hand. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Our opponent's commander is Thassa Deep Dwelling with the Constellation art. I think this is absolutely gorgeous art. It's probably my favourite thing, because I just love the Theros gods. I think they're awesome. Anyway, enough rambling. Thassa's a 4-mana 6/5 with Indestructible. However, as long as the devotion to blue is less than 5, Thassa is not a creature. At the beginning of your end step, you exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So essentially, enter the battlefields matter. We're still not going to be playing anything here, so there's no reason for us to play Once Upon a Time. Let's just play our tap land and say go. You didn't want to just hold you Once Upon a Time until it actually does something. Opponent with a Corridor Monitor. The pressure is on, ladies and gents. The pressure is on. So now what I'm going to do, essentially, is Once Upon a Time into Klothys, I think. Which means I want to fire this off for free first. Ooh, actually... love all of this. Oh, such a tough call. I guess it has to be a land so we can start like shifting Ceratops thing and whatnot. So let's just grab the forest, play the forest, and we'll just slap down Klothys. We've got a Drain 2 with the Once Upon a Time here already, so let's get it going. Next turn we got Shifting Ceratops, which unfortunately does not have Le Haste, but I think that's fine. Oh. We could wait on a Sarkhan's Unsealing. That's certainly a thing. So, ping our opponent. I mean, we might just win the moment this comes down, because, I mean, it is a clock after all. I think I might just throw it down. Let's just do it. Can't be countered. Protection from blue. So essentially, our opponent is on a clock to win before Shifting Ceratops wins. Agent of Treachery can't stop it. They need Mass Bounce. We are in Historic, so they can have River's Rebuke and Flood of Tears. But that is kind of just delaying the inevitable. I guess they could also have Meteor Golem. Colorless cards do actually matter. Meteor Golem, Eugene. Is there any others? Any other colorless cards that do a similar thing? I'm not sure, to be honest. Honestly, not sure. Muse Drake. A 4-mana 1/3 flyer that draws a card. That feels like clutching at straws. I think we're just going to win the moment I Ember Cleave. So let's get in. Let's Ember Cleave. And yeah, we're actually just going to Ruffle Stomp our opponent. The dead next turn. GG, well played. Unless they can deal with Ember Cleave. I mean, they've got Brazen Borrowers and things like that, so they can buy themselves a turn by bouncing Ember Cleave. Yes. It's the biggest non-game our opponent's going to have, but Mono Blue is just not good. I think most of the mono-colored decks outside of Mono Green, Mono Black, I'd say most of them are pretty bad. I guess you got your Torbrands. I don't know. There's a few situations where the decks are good, but I don't know. I just don't know if the pool is there for monocolored decks to really compete most of the time, unless they get really lucky, like Agent finding, or Thassa finding Agent, that kind of little combo and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think our opponent really could deal with either of these two Haymakers here, so we were pretty much guaranteed to win. Pretty good. Alright, well, that is going to do it for today's video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more Historic Brawl content over the coming weeks, since we've got ourselves the F&M at Home event. I'm going to be doing a lot of pre-recording for this, so should have plenty of footage to showcase, a little bit on stream as well, most likely. As of recording this one, it is on the day, so I will be doing a stream, but you probably won't be seeing this, so this is not an announcement for that stream. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.